Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Franklin and Douglas, where we talk about current events and give you bad advice. I'm Franklin, and with me, as always, is my buddy Douglas. Double D, how's it going?
It's going great, buddy. Going as always, going great.
Good, good. What's so great about it?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I think if you
Okay.
just keep a positive mindset, it'll just everything
I
will
try to tell you. You
work
don't want
out.
to listen to me, though.
No, that's true. Ah, speaking of not listening, how was your week?
I don't know how that segue just went,
Yeah, I don't
but
know.
my week has been great.
Oh, wow.
No, it hasn't. It's been okay. It's nothing too exciting, but it's been a nice week. Nothing too stressful. Um, and let's see, it's been nice weather. No issues to talk about. Knock on wood. Doo, doo, doo.
No news is good news, as they say.
Exactly. So ready for the weekend. Got some things going on, but other than that, it's been pretty good. How was your week?
Well, this week, I celebrated our Lord and Savior, Britney Spear. The
I thought you went to church finally. Ooh, let me hold on. Okay, almost took me there.
Well, the "Oops, I Did It Again" album was released 25 years ago on May
Shut
16th.
up.
Yes. So we are
25
I
years?
know, time
Wow.
flies.
I'm only 24. Wow.
Right, wasn't even born yet. Uh,
Golly.
but if you like, people that are on Twitch or, like, YouTube and that, like, there's been a lot of DJs that have dedicated sets to this over the week, so it's
Nice.
been a Britney celebration week for me. And I was just kind of reading up on the album. It sold 1.3 million copies in its first week,
Nice, Brittany.
and it was her second album, and it was kind of like a change in her appearance because
Mhm.
you remember she went from like
Little
schoolgirl
high
kind of look,
school. Uh-huh.
and then she went into the red bodysuit from "Oops, I Did It Again." So,
Ooh, girl. She just was like, you know what? This is what you want.
I mean, I hope she's getting the help and the rest relaxation that she's needed after everything she's went through, but I was really hoping for a big Britney music comeback, but
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get that. I,
I
I still think she needs some a little help, but I don't think we're getting that.
uh, but yeah, so
But
yeah,
wow, 25 years?
right,
Wow.
right,
Where
insane.
does the time go? Golly.
I still
Man,
listen to it like it was just like it just came out yesterday.
same here, same here. I would be bumping Britney all the time. People looking at me like, what is going on? I'm like, respect. That's what's going on.
Yeah, put some respect on
Oh,
her name.
exactly.
But yeah, so with that, what do you got for us this week?
Ooh. Well, it's been a while for us. Do you remember episode 36 where we dove deep into a wild and windy story of Karen Reed, right? Well,
Oh, yes.
today, because our fans have been requesting an update, we're bringing you that update, and trust me, the drama has not let up. All right, so buckle up.
It has been a most requested update episode.
It really has. So let's rewind for a second and catch everyone up who may be just joining us and don't know about the story. I don't know how you can't know about the story. It's everywhere. But on June 28th, 2022, during a snowy night in Boston suburbs, in the Boston suburbs, Karen Reed and her then boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, were out bar hopping with friends. And at some point of the night, O'Keefe ends up dead. Okay. His body is found in the snow outside of a friend's house. Fast forward today, and Karen Reed is on trial again. All right. The
Mm.
charges: second degree murder, manslaughter. Were
Slaughter that
while
man.
operating under the influence and leaving the scene of an accident causing death. All right.
Mhm.
Yikes. All right. Now, the first trial ended in a mistrial back in July of 2024. The jury was hopelessly deadlocked. They couldn't reach a verdict. That means we're now on the retrial, round 2, happening right now in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. That's a lot. Massachusetts. Did you ever
Mm,
in school remember how you used to remember how to spell the states?
yes. I forget. I still don't know how to spell Massachusetts.
We always just like M-I, crooked letter, crooked letter.
I didn't learn
So,
that one.
yeah, well, we didn't go to a black school, but okay.
True.
But Reed's defense, oh, they're taking this to a whole new level. They argue that O'Keefe was actually beaten inside the house and possibly bitten by a dog, this
Oh,
crazed dog that was in this house. And, oh, this is crazy. And then dragged outside to make it look like a hit and run. And here's the kicker. They claim this was all a part of a massive law enforcement cover-up. And she's
mm,
being framed by corrupt cops trying to protect one another. And it's I mean, from last year to this year, stories are changing. People are like, oh, this was what happened. This is what happened. People are throwing away cell phones, moving from the house, getting rid of the dog. So it's kind of crazy, yeah. So it's like your real life average true crime story, right?
right,
You know
right.
how I love my true crime. And so this week ended the probably the 17th day of the retrial, and the courtroom was electric. We're talking about expert witnesses, heated debates, and dueling narratives. Both the prosecutor and defense are accusing each other of introducing surprise expert reports, like late in the game, causing some serious delays. There was also, and this is brand new, I didn't know this about her, but there was also a brief pause in the trial because on the 13th of May, Karen's health, she apparently is going through colon cancer.
Mm.
And so she had a health scare and they had to delay the trial just for one day, and then it resumed the next. And to give you an idea of how big this case has gotten, people are turning in worldwide. And that's why I say, if you don't know anything about this case, you've got to be living under a rock. All right.
I
Court
live under a
TV.
rock.
Yeah, we know. Court TV, which I watch on a regular basis. I'm at work
Of
and I have it in the
course.
corner. You remember Johnny Depp? Oh my God.
Not on the
Court TV
bed.
has daily coverage, and you can even watch it the trial live on YouTube.
Mm.
But this thing is everywhere, and like I say, I have ongoing discussions with people at work and just in general of how it's going. Now, what's at stake here isn't just her freedom; it's the whole narrative war about who can be trusted. Is it a tragic drunk driving case, or is it a twisted case of corruption, revenge, or a cover up? And that's what I think it is, right? And against the law enforcement in Boston. And we know how the Boston is, the sissy gays and the black chicks.
Yes. We've been there. We got ran out of a bar. So
We sure did. What are you laughing at? Oh my God.
nothing. Whoop.
Nothing. Get the drink, let's go. So there's also this past week they showed the photos unfortunately of to the jury of John's body
Mm.
after the accident, and basically his autopsy photos. And wow, a car did that. I mean, I know a car could do a lot of damage, but for it to be that extreme, and it was parked, and all that was missing on her car, on this SUV, was like a broken tail light, right?
Right, right.
And so the damage to his body was like scratches. They had bite marks, all types of body damage that caused, these injuries to him. And then he was left out in the snow. Now, the medical examiner was on trial in the witness stand, and she claimed that he had all these injuries, but eventually died from being out in the snow so long. And some of the people in the house were Googling, how long does it take a body to die in the snow?
Right, right.
I've told you to stop Googling stuff, right?
Right.
Get that burner phone and Google it. Don't put it on your regular phone, right? Oh my God. And so they're bringing that up and everything. Then they're also bringing up the fact that Karen was, when she was calling him and then eventually found him, that she was outside going, I hit him, I hit him. But it is a difference in how she said it. If you look at the video, she's like, did I hit him? I hit him. I think she was asking, did I do it? What, it was very, very strange, and she was acting very erratic. But I mean, I would as well
Right.
if I just found my boyfriend dead in the snow.
Right.
Okay. And, apparently they were going through some problems, and he was, going to break up with her. And so apparently there was maybe a girl inside that she thought he was with, because now here's how it happened. They were all out drinking. This was, during a snowstorm that was about to happen in Boston, and everybody was about to get locked down again. They were telling everybody to go home, but they were bar hopping, and just to, finish out the night, they go back to this friend's house. Okay.
Hmm.
And Karen wasn't feeling the vibe. She didn't really want to go. All right. And she was basically like, okay, we'll drive over there. I really don't want to go. And he's like, okay, I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go see how the vibe is. And then I'll text you to come in, and I'll let you know. Right. So she's like, all right, cool. So he supposedly goes in, but never texts her. Right. She's sitting outside all this time. And so eventually she leaves, because she's like, what the hell? I'm not just going to be sitting here. Right. So she
Right.
goes home, and then sends these barrage of text messages, voicemails to him, and just cussing him out. Like, where the hell are you? You're a piece of shit, and all this stuff, right? Because he
What we
never,
normally
ever,
text each other.
exactly, when I answer you, that is. And so that's exactly what, she was doing. And so people are
Mhm.
saying, she's doing it as a cover up to make it seem like, oh, this is what happened. But her defense is saying, no, if she had did something, she may have, what she should have been doing when she called back is going, hey, sweetie, hope you're having a good time. I'm home with the kids and all of that. But she didn't. She was lighting into him, and it was tons of text messages and voicemails. And so then the next day when he wasn't home, she started up again looking for him, and come to find out he was outside all this time. And technology today is amazing. You can, people have their fit rings on, Oura ring. I use an Oura ring as well. And you can track your body. You can track movement. You can track what you're doing. The system tells you, hey, you need to get up and walk, fatty.
Right.
I'm always getting that buzz, but I'm like, oh damn, I gotta go move. And so it's telling you, when you're doing strenuous activities, working out and everything. Well, his watch or Fitbit or whatever it was told them he was moving, going up and down stairs, and he moved like 89 steps.
Wow.
So they know that he went to the house, but
Mhm.
everybody in the house is saying he never came
Right.
inside, right? So they have these drawings and showing how everyone in that house would have known he was in there, of how he walked into the front door. And then going downstairs, they say he went downstairs, he went back upstairs, and all of this is caught on his, his health band or whatever he was wearing. Okay, and so let's get to the dog. There's this aggressive German Shepherd they have. Okay, now they say that the dog is not aggressive and everything, but it was known to attack people, and the injuries that they show on his body are scratch marks, and things that wouldn't have happened with just this tail of the car hitting him. All
Mhm.
right. And trust me, as a kid, I got attacked by a dog, and I'm like, yeah. And it was a German Shepherd. Golly, that was crazy. So, it's something that could have happened. And so they're
Mhm.
thinking the dog attacked him, and then, or they beat him up, or they threw him down the stairs. So there's this whole thing going on. And again, all of these people are law enforcement. They're all part of, the Boston police office,
Right.
and they're covering it up. That's what I feel. Honestly, I feel. I know one of our viewers was talking about they don't believe when people say, "I didn't do it. I didn't do it." They don't believe it. I'm like, I don't think she did it, and it's just it just everything that has been coming out and the witnesses, and everybody's changing their stories. There's people that have been fired. There was one of the officers that got fired recently because he was sending um, text messages and disparaging texts about Karen to his friends and stuff. And he's a drunk. Apparently, he was like intoxicated while he was investigating cases and whatnot. So he's been fired. Okay. The people, I think the people that own that house have moved from that house.
Oh
The
yeah.
dog is nowhere to be found.
Yep.
They started getting rid of cell phones and everything just started switching up. But now, fast forward to a year later in the retrial, all these new things are coming up. And her defense, her team is amazing. They just been digging things out and having people look crazy on the stand. They're like, they're like, well, that's not what you said last time. Let me bring up what you said.
Yeah.
It's like, bruh, your memorize your testimony so it can just be the same.
Right.
But all the expert witnesses, their comments and everything have been the same. So
Hmm.
it has been really really great. Like I said, it's on court TV. You can watch it every single day when they're coming back on. And I have, like I say, I'm supposed to be in meetings and I'm like, listen, I've got a court TV to watch. I can't be dealing with you guys right now.
Listen, they're bringing this witness on at this time, and you have a Teams meeting at the same time. I need you to switch that around.
Exactly, and that's what I'm like doing. I put it on my calendar, court TV from this time to this time. If I don't have anything open, you can't get a hold of me. So, so we are going to continue to watch this trial and give you updates as they come along, and perhaps provide some really bad advice to to everybody to let them know what to do. I would just say, maybe stay out of snowy driveways during a snowstorm. Don't hang out, with people. Thankfully, on our drunken nights, you've always taken care of me. Feel so safe with you.
Well, I was gonna say too, like, moral of the story is get an Uber at that point because, you
Get
know
an Uber, get something. I don't know. But,
yeah,
that was another thing is that, okay, well, are we going to try, she was drunk driving because everybody,
right.
they brought up all the pictures of them drinking and everything. Anyways, I was like, that's just a regular Tuesday night for us. Come on now,
Right. I haven't backed into you
Thankfully,
that you
because
remember.
we were smart that we took Ubers,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But yeah, so it is like I say, Friday, Saturday. Today is Saturday, and so last week was ending of like the 17th day of the trial. So we'll
Mm.
be back starting next week with the all the updates. But it's getting good. And now I've got two court TVs to watch because I got Diddy on one side and I got Karen on the other. And I'm like, these are conflicting right now. You guys got to change up your programming, right?
It kinda off topic, but not since you brought it up. They, someone showed a picture of Diddy and his hair is all gray now, and they're
That's
like,
AI.
"Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's not
Ah."
that's AI. They made him look like he was 92 years old.
Well, someone just said because someone said that, like, court would or, the jail is making him rough, and other people are like, "No, he doesn't have hair dye anymore." Like, the
Right.
guy's in his 50s, almost 60. He doesn't have hair dye in
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah. The ones that I saw were really extreme, and I'm pretty
Oh,
sure
yeah.
that's was AI. I haven't seen the recent ones, just these drawings that they're showing. So I've been keeping up with that. Poor Cassie, she's been on the witness stand this whole week. Oh, bruh. I mean, I could take a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and listen but I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty gross.
Maybe that'll have to be
So
our next follow-up episode.
I think we do. I mean, and that's going to be a disclaimer at the beginning because this is rough. This is disgusting that's going on. But
Get your baby oil
shout out to
ready.
Karen. Shout out to Karen Reed. I'm with you, girl. I'm with you. I believe you.
Franklin stands with
uh,
Reed.
exactly.
I will say though, like I brought this up in another episode that we did. Like you just hope that these trials and cases are done appropriately, and the people get whatever verdict that they're supposed to get. Like it's scary to think that if she didn't do this, but she can still go to jail for something that she didn't do. Like that's kind of a frightening thought. So
Exactly. And like I say, this is the Boston police.
Right.
I mean, they're one of the most powerful police organizations in our country, and so all of these people, I mean, from police officers themselves, court, everything, they're even questioning the judge, you know,
Mm.
and how he is in this case, and so there's a lot that is in this case, and I think that for one, again, driving while drunk is horrible. You shouldn't be doing that.
Right.
And these are cops. They were doing it,
Right.
you know. And so, again, one of the cops that was investigating was drunk while he was doing it. So, um, there's a lot that is going on in this case. And moral of the story again is, you know, I think that if she and him were going to this party, she didn't feel comfortable, he should have stayed with her. And because there's people going back and forth going, well, you know, she should have just went in with him. Well, no, she said she didn't feel comfortable with these people,
Yeah.
and she didn't want to go. And if that's your man, he should have been like, all right, bet, let's just go home. We'll finish up the night at home.
Right.
He didn't do that. He's like, no, I want to go. I want to go. Okay, well, I don't want to, so I'm going to go ahead and head home. But can you text me and let me know that you're good, that you got in, that, and whatnot? And he didn't do that because they think that as soon as he walked in, something happened, some sort of attack happened. Either it was the dog that attacked him, or, he fell, or something happened. It started with that dog.
Yeah.
And instead of them getting the help that he needed, they drug him outside. Now, how they got her tail light broke, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's interesting, right? But we'll figure out eventually what's happening. Or we may never know what will happen
True.
because again, the cover up is deep, right?
It goes all the way down to our podcast.
It goes all the way down, deep down. So, what advice would you have for Karen?
Well, what advice would I give Karen? It's a great thing that you asked because we do have an advice section on this show. What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So,
and I've told her. I think that Karen can go ahead and write in and and we can give her some great advice on how to get out of this.
well, as always, we want to remind our audience and Karen Reed that we are not trained professionals. So do
Nope.
not use us in your court case, Karen.
I don't
And
see why she couldn't.
and our advice should not be taken seriously. But what qualifications do we have, Franklin?
Well, we survived the Castros 2 for 1 night without getting hit by Karen in that SUV.
Oh no.
And then we are qualified to guide you through life's challenges. Hit me with it.
Well, today we're going to be pulling our questions from Reddit's advice in the Am I the Asshole category.
You are.
Thanks. If you would like us to answer your request for advice, please DM us on our socials or comment. Maybe your question will appear on our next episode.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
All right. So we're going to start off with something that kind of relates to our topic for today. This one is, am I the asshole for hating my wife's creepy hobby project? She goes on to say, or he goes on to say, okay, this sounds insane, but I swear my wife is totally normal otherwise. Right, right.
Sounds suspicious to me already.
Right off the bat, which makes this so strange to me. For context, we both in our later 30s and live in a pretty typical suburban neighborhood where we all know each other. I mean, that sounds like a nightmare already. My wife has always loved trashy movies and shows about infidelities, and she eats up true crime about spouses killing their cheating partners too.
Love it.
She just says something about it makes her morbidly fascinated, in her words. Wh-
Mm.
Well, a couple months back, we had a scandal in our neighborhood where a married
Ooh,
couple in the neighborhood divorced because the husband cheated. No,
trash.
there wasn't a murder or anything like that. Too bad. But she became obsessed with learning every detail from every neighbor. No matter the occasion, be it a baby shower or cookout, she would bring it up hoping there'd be any new information. A month later is when I stumbled upon the board in her home office.
Yes. The murder board.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was doing some cleaning and found a massive bulletin board facing away, leaned up against the wall. Curiosity got the better of me, and I turned it around to find a literal fucking conspiracy board of all of our neighbors' pictures with lines of yarn connecting each other like, like the fucking Pepe Sylvia
Love
meme.
it. Yes.
I was I was totally confused and asked where that was what this was, and she told me it was a hobby she had started recently where she would track rumors or likely candidates for cheating on the board. The yarn representative who was possibly cheating with whom. She had clearly gotten all the images on Facebook or some social media and printed them out and even had a few sticky notes with details. I told her this was
Nice.
creepy and insane, and she said maybe if I was doing it as a man, but she is just having harmless fun as a hobby, and she wouldn't be
Right.
crazy and try to oust anyone because of rumors. She just likes feeling like a detective.
I love it. I love it.
I can see you doing this. She
I
she told me
got a
to
big post-it board on my thing with
right.
notes.
She told me to view it like a creative art piece. I was still super weirded out, but let it go or tried. I thought about it a lot. Well, every now and then I admit to checking the board when cleaning, but just a couple days ago I looked to see that now I was on the board with a yarn attached to a neighbor's wife. I
Ooh-wee.
I asked her why she would add me if she thought I was cheating, and she said that that was a different yarn color for potential matches for cheating.
She's got different colors.
Right?
Nice. She's
She's
amazing.
I know. I love her like her what's her
Detail and
organization. Yeah.
yeah, okay.
She said if it makes me feel better, she was planning on adding herself to the board soon. Well, I got pissed and kind of lost my temper about it. I told her to get rid of
Uh-oh.
the board or our marriage will be in trouble. Things have been super rocky since. So
Okay.
sorry
Well,
for the long.
his color is about to change
I
on
know
the yarn.
it's going from yellow to red, baby, yellow to red.
Exactly, and then black, 'cause he's a goner. Wow. I mean, I'm with her on this. I love it. I
I knew you
love,
would be.
you know, I love all of that. I enjoy, trying to find out things, and
Mhm.
even though I don't talk to my neighbors, I know exactly what's going on. Like,
Right.
just recently I saw it, my neighbor is pregnant and I was like, "Oh my God." You know, you know, of course I know the neighbors' dogs and everything. I know what's going on. I
Mhm.
can hear them barking and I'm like, there's Buddy just barking up a storm. Probably the Amazon driver, put a little notation on it.
Got a
I know.
delivery today at 1:30 PM.
Right, right. And I'm always telling my neighbor, to not, because when I'm leaving to go to work, she's walking her dog, and it's still very early in the morning.
Mhm.
And I'm always rolling down the window, be careful. And I make a notation and post it. Betty walking dog.
Saw
Because when the
her at
police
this
come,
time.
exactly. So when the police come, I can give them details and evidence. You got to have all that information,
You
you
were gonna
know?
be suspect number 1.
Never,
When you hand
never.
over your big, those folio boxes of all your
So I
information.
hear all my neighbor notes. Okay, sift through them to find what you need. But I love it. I think that it's harmless fun. Like she said, she's not outing anybody. So what's the
Mhm.
problem? He just mad because now he's on the board.
I mean, that at that point, like, you gotta be like, "Okay, maybe it's not as serious, maybe it's just kinda like a play thing," when she starts putting her husband
Hmm.
and herself on it, but I also get where he's coming from, it's like, "Oh, now you think I'm cheating?"
I I mean, it's a potential match. I saw you chit chatting over there.
Maybe this is like her subtle way of saying she wanted a threesome.
Ooh, okay, that's a different color right there.
Right. This could be a potential match. Hint, hint.
Mhm, hint, hint. That's crazy. But I mean, like I said, I love it. I love my mysteries and whatnot, and I think it's kind of fun. So maybe she should have, what do you call, a tea party and invite everybody over and switch the board around and go, hey, so this is what I got for you guys.
Like one of those murder mystery parties, but it's real life.
It's real life. Everybody would freak out.
Betty, where were you at this time? I do not have you
Oh,
accounted for on my bulletin board.
okay. Your string is white. Wow, that's crazy. That's well, here's the thing is that it sounds like it's harmless fun. That's her, hobby. Hopefully she isn't taking too much time in doing it, but
Right.
that's her hobby. Let her do it. Let her enjoy it. If it's not, interfering with your relationship, unless she found out about you and, the neighbor, then, you got a problem.
Right.
But he could also, get in there with her and kind of have like a weekly meeting. Okay, let's talk about it. Where are you getting this evidence? Find out how she's getting this information, because then is she just like sitting in the car watching people or looking
Right.
outside? How is she getting all this information? But we'll
Got her
see.
binoculars like through the blinds.
Right. Remember, I think I told you once before I found out my neighbor was cheating
Oh,
because remember, I
yep.
just saw this random man come in. I was like, that's not her husband. And I told you, I texted you, I was like, oh, I think my neighbor's cheating.
Well, I think too, I
So
told
yeah.
you, one of my neighbors, I overheard them. She's got the diabetes, and I heard
Oh, that's right.
all about her medical conditions, and I'm just like, "What? I
Okay.
should not be listening to this," but out here I am listening
Here you
to it
go. Okay. Write it down.
as she's on her way to the bar, by the way, which, I
Of
mean,
course.
good for her, live your life.
Good for her. Well, good luck to them. Hopefully it works out. And if not, then she's going to start a board about him. So there you go.
Just hide that board better this time.
That's great.
Alright, so moving on to the next one, am I the asshole for telling my sister's husband that babies are disgusting? I mean, yeah, done. No more. I don't have to finish it.
Okay. Well,
So, they go on to say, "I have 4 cats that are basically my babies. They are."
here we go.
Yeah.
Already. Weird cat lady.
You're both assholes at this point.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh,
they're
man.
gonna say that, the cats, they are clean, friendly, and I keep my house nice and clean. I've had them
Lies.
for years. Yeah, clean by whose
Cat
standard?
hair everywhere. Cat piss.
So my sister, who's a 32-year-old female, married and with a month's old baby, so we've lost touch a bit. I invited her over
Oh,
for dinner with her husband and baby, but the husband remembered the cats and said, "Those cats are gonna be a problem."
yeah,
I
they are.
I asked him why, and he said it's disgusting and unhealthy for the baby, and he didn't want to be in a house where they were running loose.
I mean, it's a month-old baby, doesn't have all of his vaccines, and true. And cats, they suck the soul out of you when you
Yeah.
sleep. They get on your chest and
Uh,
they so
yeah, I saw
yeah,
it in a movie once. It must be true.
true. It's true.
Uh,
It's true.
I offered to have them in a separate room just for dinner. He said that wasn't enough, that he wouldn't feel comfortable or safe knowing they were around, and that their hair could be all over the place. I mean, valid,
True that, brother. True that. How many Claritins do I have to pop when I'm going over a friend's house with cats?
right?
I feel like a little dope fiend.
About like Mentos, whatever.
Yep, like little tic tacs. Bloop, bloop.
He said if I really cared about my sister, I would consider giving them away. I got a little
Wow.
upset. Yeah, I got a little
Now
upset.
that's extreme. Yeah,
Right. And I told him I wasn't going to give them away, and if so, they were never going to come over to my house. But
exactly.
what so they were never going to come to my house, but what if she just went over there? And he said no. He was thinking
Because you got
about it.
cat hair on you.
Yeah, yeah. What is it like what Pigpen from Charlie Brown, whatever, like the
A little
cloud,
dust pile walking with them. Yep.
right?
So she
He,
got cat hair with her.
as he said, I must be covered in germs because my clothes and environment is full of them. I got mad and told him that if it was germs, that his house was even dirtier because babies are disgusting. I mean,
Ooh,
valid, valid.
there you go.
My sister just told me
Shitty
to,
diapers,
right?
um, milk throw up, all that
Ew.
type of stuff. Titty milk, all of it.
Blech. Ugh.
Mama.
Just boobs hanging out everywhere. Like, no, thank you.
Everywhere. Okay,
Is
germs.
this a strip club or
Disgusting.
is this a family home?
Mm-hmm.
my my sister just told me to give them away so we can see each other. Am I an idiot for telling my sister's husband that babies are gross too, or does the answer justify the anger of the moment?
I mean, it was more so started about the cats. I think she, and then her telling, about the baby. No, she's not, she's not an asshole for saying it. I think she got caught up in the heat of the moment because, as I'm an animal lover, I mean, I don't like cats. I'm allergic to them. That's the only reason why. But I don't tell people to put their cats up and whatnot. I take what I need to take and I go hang out with my friends.
Right.
But cats, I've never liked them. Again, because I'm allergic to them and they suck the soul out of you. So,
Just
but
babies.
but the baby, they can go out somewhere else. They can go to the park or whatever. And secondly, why does the husband have to be around? When they
True.
when they meet, they don't have to. She can come over when he's not there, or she go get her sister and they meet somewhere. You know, but no, she's not the asshole. I think the husband is the asshole for telling her to get rid of her babies. How
Right.
would she feel about that? To say, well, get rid of your baby. You know,
Yeah.
no, she's not the asshole. I think that was a jerk move on his part. You know, yeah, you can lock him up in the door. She can clean up. You're never going to get cat hair, dog hair. If you have animals in the house, it's never going to be 10,000% clean. Unless you're a millionaire and you've got that time on your hand.
Right.
But there's always going to be something, that you're going to find. But the baby isn't crawling on the ground, licking on the carpet
That we know of.
that we know of. Um, and germs are good to have. Keeps your immune system strong. But again, that baby shouldn't even be out. Should be in the house for 6 months. You don't take the baby out. They don't have all of their vaccines and preventatives. So don't bring the baby out. And baby should be seeing people anyway.
I mean, I just think of because we worked retail, and I just think of like people's kids that were they just let them crawl on the dirty ground and stuff like that, and like licking their hands and licking
Licking handrails.
doorknobs and handrails. Yeah, and like they're gonna
That's
be
how
mad
we got
about
the COVID.
it. Exactly. And you're gonna complain about some cats? Like, nah, like it's all good. They're
Right.
they're both dirty creatures. Just let them hang out with each other.
Lick themselves. They're clean.
Just make sure the baby knows like the little candy bars inside the cat box aren't
Ooh,
for kids.
God, are not for kids. Oh, that's a special surprise.
Ugh,
No, she's not the asshole.
right.
But hopefully she'll be able to mend things with their family and she can see her niece or nephew, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Well,
Titty milk. Titty
well,
milk.
on that note, that's all I have for today.
Oh, that's good. That's enough. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Hey, you didn't show me your mug for today. I think I've seen that one though before.
Oh yeah, I normally have a different mug, but we're getting to the point where I might like start running out of room for mugs. So I'm just doing my Punkin' Donuts one today.
If anybody wants to start sending mugs as a gift,
Yeah,
you can do that for them. That's
get
great.
get a PO box set up.
Okay. Double D's mugs are in.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for all the likes, comments. I love the conversations that I've had recently about the Karen Reed trial, which prompted us to make sure that we made a follow up on it. So, thank you again, loving it. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Still trying to build the YouTube followers. So, if you're listening on one of the other platforms, feel free to just give us a like or a follow over there, and then you don't have to look at us on there anymore.
So ridiculous.
But on that note, do you have anything to take us out with, Franklin?
No, just have a great week. Be safe out there. And yeah. Oh, and you know what? Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Woohoo! They're moving on.
Yeah, yeah. Both our teams are out, so
That's heartbreaking, but they beat Boston.
true.
Corrupt Boston.
All right.
No,
Well,
nothing else. Thank you very much, everyone.
yeah, thank you and bye.
Bye.